Hey, this is Steve. I do gun laws for 2026. First off, Happy New Year. Secondly, call Bobby from USCCA. Third, get a FOID card for everyone in the household. Keep referring people to class, get shooting, sharpen your skills, and keep in touch with me. I'm here for you. Okay, so let's talk about getting pulled over. Remember, first, your license plate, when you have concealed carry, and is going to be, it could say you're armed and dangerous. It all depends what dispatch says, but it's a national database, right? So if you have kids in the car or your daughter or someone that doesn't have concealed carry, you must inform them that when they get pulled over, put your hands on the steering wheel or put your hands outside or on your head or whatever. The cop doesn't know that's your daughter driving the car. All they see is someone fidgeting for a purse or a glove box, and they know there's a gun in the car. That puts the cop in a very bad position. Because of the Safety Act, right? We talked about the Safety Act. There's a chance that a criminal with a warrant could be being pulled over, and nobody will know it until the cop gets there. The law makes a requirement that the officers run the license plate and run you no matter what, because they don't know if it's the criminal that never showed up for court, and that cop now is at risk for being sued if he lets you go. Personally, I always put my hands up and or put them on a steering wheel, or from a motorcycle, put them on my head. I say, officer, hello. I don't know why I'm being pulled over, but I first want to tell you, for your safety and mine, I have a valid concealed carry and I do have firearms in the vehicle. I'm just informing you, and say with a smile and a little bit of jest, I don't want to be a threat and I don't want to get shot today. And for your information in mind, I'm not moving my hands until you instruct me. Now, say this without being nervous. Say this but being serious about it. But say it in a nice way. 100% of the time, the police have thanked me. Thank you for being honest. This sets the tone for you being compliant and you being non-aggressive. And so the cop knows that, look, we know the law and we don't want any trouble. And even if we get a ticket, thank them. Thank them as being as compliant as possible. This is important. They're just humans doing their job, right? We know there's good cops and there's bad cops. There's also a sergeant requiring to give a ticket quota. So each situation is going to be different, but respect goes a long way. So at this point, this has worked for me for 100% of the time. And usually they never give me tickets. I've been pulled over 18 times with loaded multiple firearms in the car. So they have never asked to see my concealed carry. You are required to have it. And sometimes it used to work if it was on your phone, like a picture, but it's up to the cop. Now, in the law in January 2026, it requires a little bit more. So the law somehow made the cop personally responsible if something happens. So that could mean it lets you go down. If you go down the road after being pulled over and you commit a crime, the cop can be sued. Personally, the cop, his family, his house, he's at risk. So starting January 2026, the governor of Illinois is stern about making it more difficult for the police to do their jobs. The Governor's Safety Act really requires, it's really hard to be a cop. Super hard to be a cop. They have legal restrictions. It's frustrating to them. It's a miserable job, and people are spitting in their face and not respecting them. Probably not the greatest thing that you should do. The trick is just keep your cool, right? Play nice. Don't act nervous. Don't have anything in the car that you shouldn't. Wear your seatbelt. Be hands-free. Do the speed limit. Don't kick off probable cause, especially if you got firearms in the car. If you've had a few beers and firearm in a lockbox in the trunk, you can see getting pulled over can escalate real quick, especially if you got a gun. Just understand, my friends, the world is changing with so many opinions. Crime is going nuts, right? Coming out of the woodwork. Whenever we grew up, whatever we thought was right, half of society deems it wrong right now. I mean, you got kitty litter in grammar schools. You got tampon machines in college men's restrooms. Protesters don't even know what they're talking about, don't even know what they're protesting for. There's destruction on the streets. There's homeland terrorism, all sorts of things. Disrespect to the police, spitting in their face. Military, spitting in their face. People marching for a communist drug lord. What are you doing? It's just disharmony in society. The enemy wants to divide and conquer. He's doing an excellent job. The police are stuck in the middle, right? So it's got to be a shitty place to be. People risk their lives and do all this just so a criminal can get out of jail in 1 hour. Okay, so where are we in this whole mix? Well, I'm kind of a rule breaker myself. I'm a speed racer and feels strange telling you guys this, but the laws in January 2026 are making us responsible to know the law. And personally, I believe since 2020, the world has become super divided. The Democratic Party is doing everything they can to take control. It's hard to be in control of an armed America. We must band together. Sheriff James Mendrick, he's got my vote for office. He's going to restore armed citizens to be responsible, ban things like these anti-bans and the Safety Act. Get rid of that. We got to be a lot more like Florida. Government control, I don't like it. I hate it. But all I'm doing is hearing stories all the time about people hurting people. Criminals getting away with it in a divided nation, being ripped apart, escalated by force, being used everywhere. Regardless, let's just be familiar with the new laws. Let's discuss two things, right? I watched this video, and it was a video about being pulled over with a gun and the threat escalating, and the way it can do that with the police asking tricky questions, right? It seems innocent. Like, where's the gun located? Why do you do concealed carry? Why do you have concealed carry? Now, if you're silent, you're showing you're hiding something, right? This answer must be done carefully. You don't want to say anything that suggests you as violence or a threat. You can't say I'm helping the police clean up the streets. You can't say I'm worried about crime. Can't be worried about anything. I'm sick of these people freeloading, these illegals. I'm worried about Islam attacks. The way you answer the questions, even if you pause, it causes the police officer to go one way or the other. Now, the police officer might have probable cause, just the way you answer. So I'm getting crime off the street is not what to say, right? Concealed carry holders, I don't like them being targets. I want us left alone. This video that is in the description box shows you. I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights and will be fully cooperative with an attorney present. Now, does that mean, what does it mean? I don't know. You got to get a new attorney? Maybe. I've never heard of this before this, and I'm going to ask the USCCA and find out, do we need secondary legal representation? I'm going to call Bobby. You guys know Bobby's our guy for the USCCA. I'll find out, and I'll have an answer with resources. If you guys don't have the USCCA, you're crazy because you're going to get sued, right? None of us can afford a lawsuit. Not like this. That kind of money for a court case, you can't afford it. So call Bobby. We're going to sign up through him with the USCCA. Bobby works closely with us. You know Bobby. 708-609-9404. He's our guy. You know, I can't stress this enough because I've really seen a lot of students with bad things happen. Let's deal with the second law, and then we'll end this, okay? The second law as of January 2026 was you got to put your gun in safe storage or you get in trouble, right? If you have a firearm that's is accessible to someone who shouldn't have it, this can be a kid, a felon, someone without a FOID card, or somebody who has maybe some kind of court litigation against them. Situation, or if that gun's in a shooting, you're in trouble. It needs to be properly secured at home, or you're in trouble, even in your own home. So you can see there's good points to this and bad points to this. I understand the safety of kids and concern having them access to it is not good, but I also see the seconds count when a home invasion, right? And you won't have that accessible. They're not going to wait for you to unlock your safe. Right. There's choices. You got trigger locks. You got biometric safes. If you have grandkids come over, you're illegal. That's the Illinois law. If you have guns everywhere, and God forbid there's a shooting. If there is a shooting, my interpretation is if your wife touches your gun and she doesn't have a FOID card, then she gets in trouble. Also, if there's a shooting, they're going to ask the origin of the gun. Where was it secured? If it was in your nightstand, is there a lock on that nightstand? Is there a biometric safe? A homeowner, even in a justified shooting in a home invasion, could still catch a charge. I understand they can investigate. Now, I don't know, but that's terrible. This is tricky. This is a bad situation. This is 10 Minutes with Steve. These laws are really important because they affect all of us, and there's more. So I'll end this now. You guys, call me if you need me. You know where I am. And I'm always here for you 24/7, trying to get you the news. So I don't want any of us to get in trouble. Protect your family. Be legal. Talk to you soon. Educate, and educate.